Going on, you guys? AJ Tucker here, man. I just got my workout on, just got out the gym, thinking about a little nutrition. And I'm also always thinking about ways to motivate people that I coach and all that stuff. But sometimes it comes down to, man, come on now. You know you can do this. I ain't trying to hear it. So what I'm talking about today is food logging. It is so important to log your food, at least for a short amount of time. If you're trying to get to the next level, you have to track it. But the number one thing that I hear whenever I get a new coaching client or online client or personal training client, it's just so hard to log my food. I just can't. It's just so hard. It is hard not to log the food. If you don't log your food, you're just playing Russian roulette, man. You're playing Russian roulette. Here's the thing, man. Like back in the day, I used to have this thing, and I'm going to talk about this in depth, called the Food Counts Guide. Way back in the day, I started training in 2005, and I literally had to manually look up every single food. It is so easy now. And so this video is just showing you how easy it is compared to back in the day. And I've had people do it back in the day the hard way. And so the thing is, it is almost too easy right now. The information is already out there. When I say easy, I don't mean it's easy to do. It's just very simple, folks. And so if you either want it or you don't, it all comes down to that. So check this. So, man, here's where it all started for me. When I first started training, my mother-in-law was a bodybuilder. And so when I first started, she just gave me a couple of meal plans. And when I first started, I would just give my client a meal plan like most trainers do and say, okay, I'm going to give you this plan right here. And then in a couple of weeks, I'm going to give you a different one. We're going to change it up. And, you have a few people that are really focused and they just get after it. They just do what you tell them to do and get the results, no problem. But what I started running into very quickly is people saying like, ooh, you know what? I don't like that. I need more options and this and that and this and that. And so what I did is I got this little thing right here and I started doing macros in 2005. But I would painstakingly go through this book and I would look up a food, flip the page, see, check it out, man. It has all like sorts of foods in here. I would manually look it up and it would take me about an hour to make a meal plan for a day for somebody with the right macros and all that good stuff. And then the crazy part about it is about 80% of the time when I would go to my client and give them the meal plan, they would be like, well, I don't really like this. And they wouldn't even do it. So after that, I was like, you know what, squash this. You need to start keeping me a food log. And you give me that food log and I'll tweak your macros for you. And so they would write a food log out for me on paper, not, all these apps and stuff on regular paper. And they would actually hand it to me. And then I would come back and sit down and I would add the macros, subtract macros manually by hand. And so that was back in the day and people got great results on it. And then in like 2007 or 8, they came out with these apps. And I was like, man, you know what? I didn't even need this book anymore after that. But I always keep this thing as a reminder about how hard it is and how easy it is to log your food these days. So I'm going to take you through the MyFitnessPal app. So check this out. If I'm in my phone, it's this blue app right here. It has the Under Armour logo. So all I have to do is click that. This is an Android. So you'll have the drop down bar on the upper left side. If you have an iPhone, it's probably on the bottom right. So I'm going to click that drop down bar and then I'm going to click goals. You see a dart, target, arrow and all that fun stuff. Click on goals. You go down to nutrition goals, calorie, carbs, proteins and fats. And then you can toggle it. So right here, I can set my calories. I can set how many carbs I need, what percentage of carbs, protein and fats. And so if you have a nutrition coach, they can hook you up. They can do that for you. If you're just starting out, do your research and you have to find what's best for you. Everything works different for everybody. Now they do have all since 2005, about every 2 to 3 years, a new trend comes out. So back in the day, it was the Atkins, then it was intermittent fasting, then it was the caveman diet, and then it was, so whenever I hear something comes up and people ask me about it, honestly, folks, in my opinion, it all comes down to consistency. And so whatever you set your macros to, as long as you cut out the dumb stuff and you do it consistently, unless you have some type of medical issue, your body will change. No matter what, whatever diet you're doing. Now, please don't go on some like liquid diet or some banana diet or something like that. But what I'm saying is if you just set your macros, you can live a healthy lifestyle and still have some of the stuff that you like instead of being so strict. Now, if you can do strict on a consistent basis, hey, keep it up, more power to you, go for it. But most people, when they do something extreme, they lose the weight and then they gain it back and then they just fall off the wagon. And so develop a healthy lifestyle without doing something extreme. So now I go back here and I'm looking for my diary, y'all. Okay, diary. So whenever I click the diary, I click on add food and you see this little scanner on the right hand side. If I click that, I can scan my food. Now, since I'm recording myself, it's not going to scan, but normally when you scan something, it scans within seconds. And so all you have to do is hold that up and it scans. But for whatever reason, since I'm recording myself, it's not going to scan. But normally it takes about 2 or 3 seconds. Boom, it shows the food. Let me go back real quick. So this shows like a history of all the stuff that I've been scanning this morning. So 1 can of tuna, if I don't want to look it up and try to put it in, all I got to do is scan it and it has it in. And so if you look at that, it has about 11 grams of protein. So that's a good shot of protein real quick. If I want some grits, treat myself. Ooh, wow, 29 carbs. So I got to watch it, just have 1 serving. So the thing is, I can have that stuff, but you just have to know what you're doing. You have to know your limits. And that's why whenever you log food, it makes it a lot easier for you to get results over the long term. And you will be amazed how quick you can go over your macros. Man, I was yapping so much I had to cut myself off. But all I am saying, man, it is if you want it, go get it. Stop telling yourself that you can't do it because of this or that. Get the results, man. If you want it, go get it. If you don't want it, just say you don't want it. If you don't want to do things to get where you want to do, you simply don't want it more than you want to avoid the stuff that you need to do, man. Let's go.